We're halfway through the year, and if you haven't looked closely at your portfolio lately, this is exactly the kind of check that's easy to put off, but one that can be easier with the right guidance. Markets move, life changes. What made sense in January might need adjusting by July, and knowing what to adjust and when is where many people find working with an advisor valuable. Hi, I'm Matt Sheets with Vision Capital Management. Today, I'm walking you through a 5-point mid-year portfolio check, a framework similar to what we use when reviewing portfolios with clients to help determine whether their investments remain aligned with their goals. You don't have to run this analysis alone. That's what we're here for. Why a mid-year review matters. Many people only look at their finances once a year, usually around tax time, even though reviewing them more regularly can be beneficial. A mid-year check can give you the chance to course correct before small drifts become bigger problems. Think of it like a car's alignment check. You don't wait for the tires to wear out completely, and you don't do the diagnostic yourself. You bring in someone who knows what to look for. Check your asset allocation. Your portfolio was built with a specific mix of stocks, bonds, and other assets in mind. Over time, especially after strong or volatile market stretches, that mix can drift. One important part of a portfolio review is comparing your current allocation to your target and determining whether you're still within your intended range. Review performance in context. Looking at your returns is important, but context matters more than the number itself. Rather than comparing your portfolio to a broad index like the S&P 500, an important question is whether you're on track for your personal goals, something that's best evaluated in the context of your overall financial picture. A portfolio built for stability will naturally behave differently than one built for growth. Both can be appropriate, depending on your goals, timeline, and risk tolerance. Revisit your timeline and goals. Has anything changed since the start of the year? A new job, a marriage, a divorce, a child heading to college? Major life changes often mean your investment timeline or risk tolerance should be revisited. And these are exactly the conversations worth having with an advisor rather than guessing on your own. Mid-year is a good moment to sit down together and ask, is this portfolio still designed for the life you're actually living right now? Look at the tax exposure. If your portfolio has shifted significantly, you may have opportunities to reduce your tax liability before year end. Tax loss harvesting, selling underperforming positions to offset gains, may be an appropriate strategy in certain situations and should be evaluated based on your individual's tax circumstance. Mid-year is early enough to be intentional about this, rather than scrambling in December. Confirm your cash and emergency fund. Your investment portfolio doesn't exist in isolation, and it's important to consider your overall financial picture, not just your investments. If you're reviewing your financial plan, it's also a good time to check that your emergency fund still reflects your needs, often around 3 to 6 months of living expenses, depending on your circumstances. If your expenses have increased, your emergency cushion may need to grow too. Maintaining an appropriate cash buffer may reduce the likelihood of needing to sell investments during periods of market volatility. Rebalancing versus reacting. One of the most important distinctions in investing is knowing the difference between rebalancing and reacting. Rebalancing is a planned, methodical process, returning your portfolio to its intended allocation based on a schedule or trigger, not emotion. Reacting is making changes because the market moved and you feel anxious. One of the most common and costly investor behaviors. Having a disciplined investment process, whether it's one you follow on your own or one you develop with a financial advisor, can help you stay focused on rebalancing instead of reacting when markets become volatile.